6:43 right now. NBC5 News continuing to team up with Asante to bring you better health. This week, we're talking about the importance of getting a colonoscopy.
It's time for Better Health, and I'm here with health expert Beth Coker with Asante. Thanks for coming in today.
Good morning.
And this morning we have Dr. Heisterman. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are talking about colonoscopy screenings this morning.
We know that colon cancer is the third most common cancer for both men and women in the United States, but there are screening tools available. Why is a colonoscopy so important?
That's a great question. So you're right, we do know that colon cancer is very common. We also know that it runs in families, but it can also be random. And so colonoscopy is a screening technique that we can use to not only help identify growths before they become problematic or cancerous, but it's also to identify cancer at an earlier stage when it's still treatable.
So we want to detect it early. When is the recommended age for that first colonoscopy?
So the American Cancer Society currently has a recommendation of starting screenings at age 45. This is a change from the age of 50 from just a few years ago. The new recommendations really reflect that there has been an increase in cancer seen in younger people.
And what are some of the risk factors for colon cancer?
So risk factors, if you're a high-risk individual, you may need to start screening at an earlier age. And those would be people that have a family history of colon cancer, people who have inflammatory bowel disease, or other people who have had abdominal peritoneal radiation. Other factors that are just kind of lifestyle factors, those would be people who are obese, people who don't exercise.
Is smoking one of those risk factors in there?
Absolutely. Smoking is a risk factor, and alcohol use is also a risk factor.
So people are nervous about that first colonoscopy because they've heard about the horrors of the preparation. How do you address that?
So the prep now is quite a bit simpler than it was even just a few years ago. It's really just avoidance of any solid foods for a day, as well as a fairly simple bowel prep. What I like to tell people is that although it might seem embarrassing and uncomfortable, it's actually a very simple procedure, and it's better to have a little bit of discomfort on the front end than have to deal with the pain of cancer later on.
So your message to people is think preventive and have the screening done to catch these polyps early.
Correct.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both for being here. We'll be right back.